So it's been about more than a week since we started up filling the tank with water and everything, right? So let's take a look at the other equipments today. Okay, so today, right, is actually going to be a small update on the COVID tank. So I'm actually not going to show you guys what is in the tank right now still. But then today we're actually going to talk about the other equipments that we put on the tank. So first up, right, let's start by talking to you guys about the light. So I'm actually currently running the R80 on this tank. So I wanted to go with the AI, the Prime, but then the AI Prime is a little bit too small to actually cover the entire spectrum of this tank. So this is why, if you guys seen the previous video before, right, on the recommendation of the R80, right, I did one which I will leave the link up above. So when I used the R80 on the smaller 25 gallon, right, one thing was that the R80, the power rating is actually so high that on a shallow tank, right, it's not really very ideal because it's kind of really low. So even though how low the intensity I dropped it down to, right, my corals still couldn't really take the power. So this is why I took that out from the 25 gallon, and then after I changed over to the AI Prime. But then later on, right, when this tank is up, what I actually thought of is if to give the R80 a try again, and then to see whether how will it look. But then surprisingly, right, so once I installed the R80 onto this tank, right, it's actually looking a lot much nicer than it's on the 25 gallon. So I'll turn around and I'll show it to you guys the tank right now with the R80. So the R80, very interesting lights. The spectrum, once you play with it a little bit here and there, right, it's actually really good. And I'm kind of liking the color right now on the R80. So I don't really like my tank to be too blue. Okay, don't get me wrong, I do like a blue tank, but then on the day-to-day time, right, so I will still prefer a more whitish tank look than a more bluish tank. So the R80 actually have a very nice spectrum, which you guys can see this is like the setting for my whites right now. So how good is the R80, right? So if you guys can see the tank right now, right, this is the maximum intensity that I'm actually running on the tank. So the tank is fairly white, and none of the channels is actually even at 50%. So that's how crazy the R80 is. So if I ramp it up to even more than 50%, right, chances are that this tank is, the power rating is going to be damn high. So this is why I kept it like, if I'm not wrong, the blues is only about 40+%, and then the whites, the both cool whites and the warm whites is only about 20 to about 30 range. That's the max for the tank right now. So the R80 is actually very simple to use. It has its own built-in Wi-Fi. So all you got to do, right, is just go to your phone, your mobile app, just go to your Wi-Fi, connect to their own internal built-in Wi-Fi, right? Then all you got to do is just go over to the app. Go to the app. Usually what I do is I'll just go for the auto connection part. They will actually search the device. Once you found the device, go into the device, right? It goes into a manual or a auto mode. So you can actually plot the graph for the tank, your day to night cycle, all can be done on the app itself. So last time I used to have an issue with the app because it's all in Chinese, but then after I figured out, right, you can actually change everything to English. So once everything is English and then the app itself, it's actually really simple. I just need to set it once and then it's done. And the cool thing about it, right, is I like things that has built-in own Wi-Fi like the R80 and even the newer AIs, right? They all have this built-in like this Bluetooth. If I'm not wrong, the AI is Bluetooth and then this is a Wi-Fi thing, right? So it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is just connect to their app and then you can just change the light setting as and when you want. So it's really good for people like me who actually needs to change my lighting quite often to film all the contents for you guys. So it's a very simple process. I just need to log in, and then after that I'm able to change from auto to manual mode. So the light is really interesting. If you guys have anything that is at least 2 feet deep, and then a normal reef tank, basically a normal reef tank in average about 2 feet deep wise, the tank size about 2 feet to 3 feet, right? Do consider the R80. They even have a smaller one, if I'm not wrong, it's the R60. So if you have a smaller tank, go for that. Bigger tank, go for this. It's really a lot cheaper than your other brands out there, and trust me, right, I am really starting to like this a lot. So disclaimer here, this is not really a sponsored video thing. This is really based on my own thoughts. At first, I really don't like it in the 25 gallon, but now on the larger tank build, right, it's actually really drawing my attention and my liking towards it. So I will give a more, I'll do a separate video on a more detailed look on the R80, how to install, how to use the app, and then how to actually control the intensity and the spectrum. The main issues that most people tell me about the R80, right, is the spectrum wise. So I will be doing a separate video just on the R60 and the R80, just to share with you guys on how to install, how to use the app, and how to blend the spectrum on this light, because this light tends to have a little bit more towards the purple side. So for people who like the more purplish actinic T5 look, right, this is a really good light for you. SPS people, you will love this. So after finished talking about the lights that we use for the COVID tank build, right, the next thing we are going to talk about is the flow. So we actually installed the Nero 5, if you guys can see right behind. So we actually installed the AI Nero 5 wave maker. This is hands down my favorite wave maker so far. So I've always been a cheapo J-Bow kind of person. I've always only used the J-Bow wave makers because price wise those guys are affordable. They all comes in different sizes. They do have the pulsing, the controller, stuff like that, right? So I never really thought of spending so much money on a wave maker because I don't really see that need or that luxury for it. So when I do this build, right, I really wanted to go with a J-Bow, but then when I saw the Nero 5 and then all the good comments about it, right, it kind of tears me a little bit here and there. Should I not to spend that amount of money on a wave maker? So as I was talking to the sponsors, to other people, right, and then they were saying that if you want to go this tank, you want to do it well, might as well just everything go for the best. So disclaimer wise, I paid every single thing on this tank build myself, so it's not really a fully paid tank by any of the sponsors out there. So when I decided to go with the Nero 5, right, I said, okay, why not give it a try? If it's really this good, and then I really want to give you guys a very honest review on the Nero 5, and then whether is it really justifiable to get it compared to a J-Bow tank, right? It's something that really tests me to spend that amount of money. But after when I got it, and then after when I start to install this the little small pump onto this, right, the day I install it, the day I fall in love with it. And from then on, right, I told myself that I would rather spend that money on this Nero 5 than a normal pump. Don't get me wrong, the normal pump is workable. It's not that the normal pump is no good. The normal pump, the J-Bow, stuff like that, right, also does the job really well. But then the Nero 5 it's kind of like, the technology is very different. You get a lot of different cool features onto it, which is really fun to play with. And the good thing about it, right, because this Nero 5 is actually has its own built-in Bluetooth as well. So most of the AIs out there are currently all inbuilt with their own Bluetooth. So same thing, you go to the AI app, right, you can actually find the Nero 5 over there, which currently you'll see right now. So you'll see the Nero 5, you click into it, right, and then you can actually set. So the very interesting thing about it, right, is previously on, let's say, a J-Bow pump, right, you can set in different modes like constant flow, pulsing, or random flow, right. So it's either you go pulsing all the way, and then you are able to only set, like, you got to press the buttons and then just set the amount of the power, how long the duration, how fast, how slow, right, once, and then it's basically fixed throughout your entire riffing time, unless you're going to change the pump again, right? So the interesting thing about the Nero 5, right, with the new app that you are seeing over here, right, I'm actually able to plot a very flow pattern in the tank. So if you guys can see from the day-to-day structure, right, I'm actually able to set things like from this timing, right, the pump is running at this percentage, and then from this timing, right, is running on a pulsing mode, and then how fast, how slow the pump turns on, how fast, how slow the pump turns off, the percentage of the power of it, and then in between I can actually even add in some different random flows here and there, which you guys see on my app itself. So it kind of really gives your reef, right, a more realistic feel, because out in the ocean, right, if you guys have never ever been into the ocean to dive, right, the ocean is never constant. Okay, you have tide, you have changes in currents, you have high tide, you have low tide, you have changes in flow, you have rapid flow, you have low flow times. So throughout the day, right, all these things changes. So why do you want your coral, your reef tank to be constant when out in the wild, right? These guys are never constant. So with this tank build right now, right, I'm actually able to change things like 2 sessions a day, right? I actually put in a different random flow into it just to stir up everything up, give the corals a bit more random flow to it. And then after that, it will go into a different pulsing mode, one that is pulsing higher in a higher power, and then the other one is pulsing in a more lower, calmer state. And then once it drops to at night, right, it actually goes into a constant flow with a smaller power usage, probably maybe about 20-30% at night only. And the interesting thing was that it can actually go into feed mode as well. So feed mode, you are actually also able to adjust the flow on your feed mode, which is really cool. Like for a normal pump, right, when you just press the pause button, right, you just pause the entire pump. But then for the Neo 5, right, you are actually able to set your feed mode to what type of flow you want, the percentage of it, how slow you want the pump to run on your feed mode. So it doesn't really kill the entire pump, but it actually allows you to actually use the pump at probably, like for me now, I just running at 1%. So it still provides a little flow, but it's not strong enough that your corals will not be able to take food. So with all these new features on the Neo 5, right, it's really okay. The price itself is not that crazy. It's not like a lot of money for a wave maker. Some of you guys will definitely feel a pinch in getting one, but trust me, when you spend that money on a wave maker this amazing, right, you really will love it. Yeah, I never a believer of very high-end technology previously, but then when I actually have the chance to use the Neo 5, right, I kind of really like it a lot. This is just like my own honest opinion. I'm a huge fan of the AI products right now with their newer lights, the newer Bluetooth feature, which it really changes how you connect the light. Previously on the AI, right, you need to connect to Wi-Fi, go to the app. It's still kind of a bit leceh, but then with the newer models, right, everything is just Bluetooth. You just go into the app, press onto the device, straight away you are connected, which is so much easier compared to the previous AI models. And the cool feature about this thing, right, is just really fun. And I really hope that AI will bring a couple more different products in the near future. Like probably I would like to see like Skimmer's return pumps. This will be a couple of things that I would love to see from AI next. But Neo 5, if you guys have a chance to, right, regardless how small, how big your tank is, right, give it a try. Trust me, you will not regret that decision of changing to the Neo 5. Okay, so the last thing that we actually change onto the tank, right, not really change, but we add on with this tank, which is the Elite, the Bubble Magus Elite Curve 5 behind me. So the Elite Curve 5, okay, why I choose this pump, this wave, this protein skimmer earlier, right, is because cost. So I really wanted a affordable skimmer, but then I didn't really want like the older, not really older, but like let's say the normal Curve 5 skimmer. And then I was actually contemplating between the Red Sea skimmer, and then I really wanted something that with a really good pump onto the skimmer, which is a very better needle wheel technology. So I actually wanted to go with the skimmers with a sicce pump, because sicce is a really good brand, and with sicce itself, right, you are able to produce a better, thicker foam. So this is what most of the other reefers and then a lot of reviews are saying that it's good. But to spend so much, like another $400-500 on a Red Sea skimmer or even a Neos Quantum, right, it's not really into my budget right now. So after this whole tank is being built, right, trust me, I'm really broke once I'm actually done with this entire setup. So this is why I actually decided to go for something a bit more affordable, and then at the same time to give you guys a honest review on a affordable skimmer but still produce good results compared to the other few. So the Bubble Magus actually came out with the Elite series. So these guys are the top of the line in the Bubble Magus, where the pump itself, right, is not just their own normal Bubble Magus pump that they used to have. These guys here are actually running on the sicce pumps. So it's really nice. I really like the quality build of these guys. The colors is so amazing though. Like compared to the older Bubble Magus where it's usually white and red, right? These guys at the back here, right, they are like black acrylic. The black and the reds, right, just really pops in your tank, which is a really nice piece behind. So this tank, as you guys can see, is open. So it's a really nice, actually a really nice display piece in the tank right now. So I kind of really like it a lot, but I cannot really give you guys much of a review of it right now because the skimmer is actually still trying to settle in. I only installed the skimmer probably about a week ago, so it's still kind of overflowing a little bit here and there, but then it's slowly trying to foam back down already. So once this whole thing is settled down, right, I'll probably give you guys another update on the skimmer itself. But overall, this skimmer is pretty interesting. It's really nice. The build is good. The pump is amazing, and for the price range of it, right, it's actually not so expensive. The smaller one, the Elite 5, is about 300 Singapore dollars. So it's still within the affordable range compared to the other sicce brands out there. So it's kind of really nice though. Once this is more settled in, right, I will give you guys a more honest review about this skimmer. Alright, so we are actually done with sharing with you guys all the other equipments that we put onto the COVID tank. So the new lights, the wave maker, the protein skimmer is on the tank right now. So if you guys can catch a glimpse here and there from all of the little clips here on this video, right, you guys actually see that we added in fish, we added in corals into the tank. So I'm actually going to just give you guys a teaser for this week's video, just to show you guys a little bit here and there. You can catch a glimpse of some things here and there, but then I will not give you a full look at the tank right now. We will keep that for next week's video, right, where I will be showing you guys the current fish list that is in the COVID tank, as well as what other corals we have in this tank. But till then, same thing, if you like all of our videos out there, right, hit that subscribe button, like, share it out, and I'll see you guys soon next week.